the fans.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I know Levy Wigan is a derby, but there was only 1,600 people there, and in a big, not big, but in very spaced out fashion. I feel like this will be a bit more intense. So we'll see. League One game of the week: Hunslet versus Barrow, also Sunday at 3 p.m. Hunslet could not rule themselves out of contention for promotion, but rule themselves out of being a real contender at the top, depending on how Barrow go in this game, Alan.
Yeah, I think pre-season I had Hunslet down for that 5th, 6th place kind of playoff spot. This will tell us a lot whether they're actually any better than that. But because Barrow have looked very good so far.
Yep. All of what we've discussed so far, though, are just extras, though, to what is the main event this weekend, the Women's Challenge Cup semi-finals. Two absolute crackers in the offing here. You know, I really hope they live up to my billing, because I think this is going to be fantastic. York versus Castleford. So Castleford versus Castleford, Saturday at 12:30 p.m. And then St Helens versus Leeds, Saturday at 3 p.m. Let's start with York versus Cass. There must be a bit of needle in this. There must be, Alan.
There's got to be. I hope so. I hope there's a few kind of very miffed current Cass players who are wanting to prove a point and turn York over. And I still think Cass are a better side, even with their losses, than a York side who are going to be, still adapting to their new situation, new squad numbers, squad players, etc. So for me, I hope Cass absolutely stuff them, to be honest.
Alan, the not so secret Cass fan there. I'm not so sure. I think it'll all be on what happens in the first 20 minutes. I think, if Cass can get good field position, then the likes of Roach will be able to find scores against that York side. I do think that will be the case. But York will have some strength there to maybe not give up that field position. The big boot of Marshall, some decent forwards, and some pacey outside backs. It's gonna be about who gets the best field position in the opening 20 minutes, I think, in this game, because I think that Cass are just going to be slightly better, aren't they? Because let's face it, they've been more together longer, even though they've lost some key components to York. I think just Cass will just win this one, but it will be an interesting one to see, and it will be good to see if there is any spite and niggle too. Let's be honest. There's a narrative to this one as well as the two sides on the field. St Helens versus Leeds. I mean, the winner of this game is going to be hugely favoured to win the Challenge Cup itself, aren't they, Alan? Which way do you see this one going between the two form sides? How many tries will Frank Goldthorpe score, and how many tries will Amy Hardcastle score?
Probably a bucket full each. As you say, this would have been a cracking final, but as the draw hasn't gone that way. It's going to be a cracker. I mean, Leeds have just got a proven ability to win these matches, these kind of crucial games. So for me, it's Leeds. They've got a proven ability to do it at this kind of level. So Leeds to do it for me.
The last time these two sides played was the semi-final of the Super League in 2019, wasn't it? Which was a game decided right on the death by Leeds. A really well thought out game, and I just think of the two sides, the one that's got better since then is St Helens, and they were close then. Saints need to get past a semi. This St Helens women's side need to start reaching finals, because they're really underperforming if they're not getting to finals. And so be it that it's Leeds ahead of them. I think Saints will win this one. So I think it's going to be a Cass Saints final. You think it's going to be another Cass Leeds Challenge Cup final, the third in the last 3 run-ins of the tournament.
Why not?
Good stuff. NRL Brit picks. Cowboys versus the Knights, because if we're talking why not, Dom Young could play. Thursday, 10:50am. Titans versus Bulldogs. Let's see if Luke Thompson can continue his strong individual form in what is a shocking team. Saturday at 6am. Roosters versus Broncos. And aside from the Herbie Farnworth interest from our point of view, Albert Kelly has been named in the side for the Broncos for this game. So that's an interesting one. Saturday, 8:30am. Raiders versus Storm, Saturday 10:35am. We'll see how the Raiders get on there. They're probably going to get hammered on the way they're going this year, but we'll have a few players to keep an eye on anyway from our perspective. And let's see how Tom Burgess gets on against the currently unbeaten Panthers, Sunday 5am for that game. That's one worth recording on your skyboxes, I would say, rather than getting up at 5 o'clock if you don't want to, but it's worth it. I think that, should be a good game, that one, shouldn't it?
Yeah, but I'm definitely not getting up at 5 o'clock. There's no such thing as 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Fair enough. Well, everyone else who gets up at 5 o'clock or otherwise, make sure you get your fan reviews in on all those games. Like we said, the Super League game, we're relying on you guys with eyes only on 2 games from our point of view. So get in touch and we'll talk about all that next week. But now it's time to wrap up this week. Wrap up time, and with it being compressing all the bits of the pieces that we put together for the rundown into one day that is a working day. I didn't do it myself this week, Alan, even though it was background. It was supposed to be background to me. So I've got you doing the quiz this week. So let's see how I get on. What have you got for us?
Right. So I freely admit it's a bit random and a little bit silly, but anyway, that's what the wrap-up's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
loosey-goosey time.
Exactly. So it has been, if my calculations are correct, 428 days between games with fans. It was 428 days between the was it Cass and Saints last game?
Castleford St Helens, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Thompson was a St Helens player.
Ancient history.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, so 428 days it was. So I've got 3 things, and what I want you to tell me is, are they longer, shorter, or about the same amount of time? Okay?
Yep.
Told you they're stupid. So the first one was the reign of Richard III of the War of the Roses fame. Was his reign longer, shorter, or the same as 428 days?
Well, I doubt it was exactly 428 days, but because I don't know, I'm going to say about the same.
It was longer. He was actually on the throne for 2 years, 1 month, and 27 days.
Ah, okay.
Before he lost himself in the Battle of Bosworth, if I'm remembering correctly. Anyway.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Were you not? Oh, do you not know your history? Because if you don't, you're going to struggle with this next one.
I honestly, I'm not great on stuff like reigns of kings and stuff, but I have been watching River Hunters, where they go to rivers and try and find like evidence of historic battles, and so they tell us a little bit about kings and stuff, but really all they find is coins from the Victorians and things that don't look like stuff but apparently are.
Okay. Have they had an episode in Athens?
No, it's
okay. So this
is very much UK based.
Okay, this isn't going to help you. So the something we all know lots about, the Hellenic War of Athenian independence following the death of Alexander the Great. We all know when that was, of course.
It was in Llandudno, weren't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Was it longer, shorter, or about the same time as 428 days?
Same logic as before, about the same.
It was shorter. It was only 6 months. 323 to 322 BC, but you already knew that.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone out there. And the last one, the gestation period of a giraffe. Is that longer, shorter, or about the same as 428 days?
So we're saying a giraffe is pregnant for a year and 2 months.
You could be saying that.
That's basically the question. Now, when giraffes come out, they're quite big already.
They are. Long legs, long neck.
And it's going to need a lot of growing to get that big neck up there. I'm going to say it's about the same.
Well, by a process of elimination, you are correct. Apparently, if things are to be believed, it's between 420 and 450 days. So it's entirely possible that it could be 428 days. So there you go.
Excellent.
Yeah. I had to do something linked to the gaps between games, but...
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was educational. And other people will have done better than me, which is what I think the listeners want.
Yeah, well, if Bob can get in touch and let us know how he did, that'd be great.
Yeah, excellent stuff. What else have you got for us, Alan?
So my recommendation is something I spotted, or I've noticed in the last kind of 24 hours, and I've been watching voraciously when I've had time to do so. So it's a YouTube channel. It is called Bad Golf. Don't know if you've heard of it. It is Alex Horne of Taskmaster fame.
Okay.
And John Robbins, also a comedian you may have heard of.
Yeah.
Podcaster and radio presenter and whatever else.
Yeah.
And they're both very bad at golf, but they like to play. So it's basically a YouTube series of them playing golf very, very badly. But because it's Robbins and Horne, it's incredibly entertaining and fun.
So, I mean, not being one to, stones and glass houses and all that, but how long's an episode then if they're doing a full round of golf?
Well, it's considerably edited. So what they do is I'm catching up from like 2 years ago. So they kind of split the round into like front nine and back nine. And they vary in length between like 15 and 25 minutes. So it's very heavily edited. But they do like a match play kind of setup.
Yeah.
And yeah, neither of them are very good. But I find it, because I'm not a good golfer either. I'm a terrible player. But I enjoy watching people play, particularly people playing badly, because I find it quite reassuring.
Life affirming.
It's life affirming that, yes, other people do just heel the ball or top it or slice it, onto the next fairway. That it happens. So yeah, and yeah, I don't need to tell anybody out there how entertaining Alex Horne is as a presenter. But yeah, it's very, very good, very funny. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Bad Golf.
Good stuff. I don't have one this week.
Nothing at all.
Not really. No, it didn't even occur to me that I needed one until...
You've been very busy.
Until about 5:45 tonight, and then my in-laws arrived to watch the Blackpool football playoff game. So... yeah, it's been a busy week. We did like a steps challenge, not reciting songs, like walking, at work last week for like a charity thing, and it was meant to be sort of combined steps of walking to France, but I front-loaded my week thinking I could put my feet up at the weekend and watch the rugby. But when we got halfway... When we got to France, halfway through the week, like 3 days early, figuratively speaking, we then decided to do the journey back as well, but in like 3 days rather than the 4 days it took us to do the journey there, again, figuratively, to sort of, as well as raising money for the charities that the local charities that are